Today's little mini video, we're going to talk about how we do pressure calibration. And primarily, most of our customers use TDOC or air charge catheters. So how do we do calibration and make sure that the system's calibrated properly? Let's just take a look at the setup we have here, which is a Gobi system with a TDOC charger. Just leave it in the open position. We've got a Urodynamics machine running. It's already scrolling along. The zero's already been set. This device is a very expensive production calibrator. It's in fact the thing that's used to calibrate the urodynamic systems at the factory level before the Gobi is delivered to customers. So the way the calibration works is we make the connection so that we have this air tubing that goes directly from the calibrator to the charger. We put it in the charge position. That closes everything off. Okay, and then we can spin the dial to look at pressure values that we need to generate for the charger. So you see at 7, now this is in millimeters of mercury, we have a conversion table. 7 actually represents 10 centimeters of water, and you can see it's about 9, 10. If we go to 14, okay, you'll see you got about 18. It's supposed to be 20. It's pretty close. Not quite bang on, but it's still not bad. And you dial it up to 36. Okay, and you're supposed to get 50. You pretty much get 50. Okay, so this is how a system actually gets calibrated. If a customer wants to buy one of these things, it's thousands of dollars. It's very expensive. And it's not the practical way of checking our calibration. The way we're getting calibration done today with the TDOC system is in fact using one of these pressure chambers, calibration chambers. It's kind of crude and it's going to be discontinued because we just can't manufacture these things, but I'll show you how it's done. Essentially, you will need a catheter. And this catheter can't be used on the patient. Once you use it and put it inside that chamber, it doesn't remain sterile. So in this situation, you will put it inside this chamber and use this locking nut to close it. You hit the charge position. And then now you've got in centimeters of water on this dial. We compare it with the readings you have on the screen. So if we put it up to, see right now it's 12. You read the 12, put it up to a higher number, say 22, shows 20 on there, 38, 35, 60, 60. Okay, so let's show you how that works. This calibrator will not be available, so when it's discontinued, what are our options? How else can we do a calibration? So there is actually a water calibration method that we can use using tubing like this. And we know the length of this tubing is exactly 60 centimeters. And so what we can do is we can put fluid in here to 60 centimeters and attach it to a TDOC. Now, the air trap tube is designed to work with air and water. This section here is a long air section. Because the transducer is not supposed to be exposed to water. Basically, you make the connection here. So this section is only air. And we prime the system with a syringe so there's only water in here. So what we do is we charge it. And now we turn it like this. Now we have to use a tape measure. But essentially, you will see when I raise it up here, it's not quite, it says 59 centimeters. Okay, and if I lower the tubing, notice that the pressure values go down. So if I had a tape measure that measures from the stopcock to the level of the tube, that's going to give me the different pressures that I want to measure. Okay, so that's a very inexpensive way to validate that the pressures are working correctly. Another way to do it, if you want to become a little bit more sophisticated, is to use a Paratron device. And this will be cleared for use for making pressure measurements. What we can essentially do is hook it up on this end You still have to use the same kind of air trap tubing to make the connection. And in this case, I'm going to have to use a syringe now. Okay, so in this situation, I'm going to have and you can see when I apply pressure into the system, 30, 29, you get the 30. See the two? Apply more pressure, 62, 57, 56, 57, 56. Okay. Obviously, having a meter like this, it's much more convenient and you can get much larger values. So you can adapt this. So basically, you have two options. You've got the inexpensive way to use tubing to measure the height with a tape measure. You can use a digital solution like this, like a Paratron. But in both those cases, you don't need this and you don't need catheters anymore.